Well, guys, the MWO patch notes for November are out. Let's have a look at them and let's see what is going on in there. Let's go a little bit bigger zoom. Most importantly, next month in December 14th, we will get the new quick play map, and there's also going to be the stocking stuffer event, of course, for December. But for November, the patch will bring us the 2021 annual rewards mechs, so we will see the Urbi, the Viper, and the Atlas. I'm most excited about the Atlas and the Urbi. Both will have ECM and jump jets, so that should be a lot of fun. That Viper is also going to be nice with strong machine guns. The next patch is also going to bring us a couple of weapons adjustments for inner sphere light machine guns, clan light machine guns, a little bit of damage increase and spread reduction. Heavy machine guns for the clans gets 20% more range, and inner sphere heat PPCs, heavy PPC will have its heat reduced by a minuscule amount. We'll see whether that is actually noticeable or not. Then there are the mech quirks. These are the quirks for the annual rewards quirks. We see that the Urbi gets lots of armor, heat dissipation, less overheat damage, and some quirks to use with PPCs. But honestly, I think that's probably like 5 medium lasers is one of the stronger builds for this Urbi. But if you want to use PPCs, as you can see, we will have less heat on them. Just be aware, guys. PPCs are quite weighty, and you don't have that much tonnage in that Urban mech. The Viper is getting a couple of nice bonuses, a little bit of extra armor, less fall damage, less jump jet heat, and then of course that 100% extra ammo for the set of 8. That will come in handy for those machine gun builds. And then last but not least, definitely not least, the Atlas K3. Lots of armor, of course, lots of heat reduction, lots of crit chance receiving reduction, some quirks for the jump jets to make them a little bit better, especially at initial thrust should help a lot, and then some quirks for missile cooldown and weapon velocity that most likely will buff your MRM40 plus extra weapons that you put in into the other side torso, maybe like a UX10, UX20, something like that. Then we got a couple of adjustments for quirks for the previous passes, a couple of fixes for the locusts. Especially what stands out to me is that Locust 1M extra 10% range and extra cooldown plus 15% less laser duration. So they're really buffing the hell out of that thing. And the Locust 3S 20% energy cooldown as well. Raven Hugin, most importantly, is going to have more missile ammo and more LMG, MG, and HMG ammo per ton. The Urbi K9 gets a 25% UX jam duration quirk. And the Blackjack is getting something really nice for the Blackjack Alpha. Sorry, that's the Arrow. That's the hero mech. 20% machine gun range, 10% on the laser cooldown, and then some extra armor on top. Plus, the Gargoyle Echo gets a little bit of extra structure on the CT. Then the Maulers were hit with an update not too far ago, as far as I know, but we're getting some changes here. The Mauler 1R, as you can see, they're converting the cooldowns to general cooldowns, which is nice. Mauler 1P, same thing. Ballistic cooldown and missile cooldown removed, but 10% flat cooldown added. So all in all, it's just condensing these quirks together a little bit better, which it gets my wholehearted support. The UX heat seems to still be in there. And then again, just as I said, condensing 10% ballistic and 10% missile cooldown being condensed down to just 10% flat cooldown. Mauler Knockout gets less LBX spread and less heat. And the LRM cooldown was changed to LRM cooldown removed, and the LRM velocity removed, and missile velocity was added. So we won't have anything in terms of buffing the cooldown of those weapons anymore, unfortunately. The Nightstar 10P will get 25% UX jam duration and 25% reduced rack jam ramp up duration. This is really nice because it means you can shoot your racks for a quarter longer, which should be really, really nice to have. It's going to be interesting to try out. And the Nightstar 9FC gets ballistic cooldown 20%, and then some extra weapon velocity and some heat. And Direwolf W, 10% range on the left torso. And then there's the Quirk Pass 4. There's a lot of things happening once again. We see new quirks for the Vulcan, the Dragon, the Cataflex, the Hellbringer, and the Executioner up here. And let's go over them real quick, but I don't want to go into too much detail here. Let's just say that all Vulcan variants will get the Vulcan 5T survival quirks, with one exception, the 2T Vulcan. We'll also see that some really nice bonuses were added. The 2T, for example, gets 20% less crit chance receiving. The 5M gets extra large pulse laser range and large pulse laser buffs. And the 5S is going to be really, really quirked for snub-nosed PPCs. Moving on to the dragons get some nice buffs as well. Extra armor, flat cooldown, flat laser duration, like even really nice buffs like 25% flat cooldown and 20% weapon velocity. So they're really trying to get these dragons up to where they can be more interesting to more players, because let's face it, basically nobody plays a dragon because dragons are just bad in terms of geometry. Similar thing is happening with the Cataflex, yet not to the same extent as with the dragons. Yes, there is going to be like more armor and some like other minor quirks, but let's face it, any quirks in here are just not going to cut it, in my opinion. The Cataphracts is a dead-on-arrival mech that has really bad weapon hardpoints, and these minor buffs right here, like 10 armor here, 10 armor there, yeah, it's nice to have instead of nothing, right? But still, it's not going to fix the mech model. If you really wanted to do something with the Cataphract, you would have to give it a lot better quirks to account for all the shortcomings of its hardpoints being low and wide. So I'm disappointed here with the Cataphract's quirks, to be honest. Moving on, then there will be the Hellbringer, as well as the Executioner quirk buffs and quirk changes. And to me, most interesting, like the radar deprivation in the head pot, except Hellbringer Alpha. So that will make it so that Hellbringers are even less visible on radar, which is really nice. And then there's a couple of bonuses happening here for the set of 8 bonuses. Like they want you to use the Prime with ballistics, they want you to use the Alpha with missiles and the ballistics. And they seem to also want to give you the opportunity to just choose which kind of weapons you want to buff. But once again, those really nice quirks mostly added to the set of 8 bonuses. So we'll see how many people are actually going to use that. I think the most powerful Hellbringer was probably still going to be the laser boat, which chooses to mix and match from all different Hellbringer models. Hellbringer Virago will get the left torso 10% ER large laser range to 10% flat range, which is kind of nice. Maybe people can work that into their builds. On the Executioner side, all the variants will get extra 10 armor on City, and structure quirks will be converted to armor instead, which is a really nice thing to see as well. That should make the Executioner a little bit more tanky, a little bit less susceptible to getting their weapons knocked out too early. Other than that, there's a lot of stuff happening, especially with like ballistics cooldowns and ballistics ammo, especially this very confusing comment. So there's 50% ballistic ammo to left arm, but what is it? Is it? I'm guessing this is AC UAC LBX 20. Yeah. And then for anything else ballistic, it is going to be 40% extra ammo. And this is going through like all the Hellbringer models, most of the Hellbringer models, like the Bravo has it as well, Charlie has it as well, and so on and so on. Again, lots of changes to single omnipods, and then some changes to a set of 8. In my opinion, the clan mech balance changes that have specific quirks for specific omnipods. It's just a huge mess. It's just so much stuff happening. It's not simplifying the game, it's overcomplicating the game, so it's really hard to keep track. And honestly, I just don't know if that's the proper way or the right way to balance the game. I don't have a better opportunity or a better idea on the other side, though. So, I mean, it's easy to criticize, right? But I don't have a better solution on this side as well. Maybe just base it on the center torso of the mech. But yeah, I don't know. If you guys like set of 8 bonuses, you get some nice bonuses in here, but most people will probably just go for weapon systems and weapon system location over bonuses. Last but not least, we got a couple of bug fixes here, like the 12 armor bonus that was missing on the Warhammer 7S. Pulse laser duration quirk was changed with the intended pulse laser cooldown on the Murder 2C Bravo. And then the Phoenix Hawks 1K and 1KS, since they can't have jump jets, they will not have jump jet quirks anymore. And that is the extent of this month's patch. Honestly speaking, like aside from the hero mechs coming in here for the annual rewards, this really, not hero mechs, but the special mechs coming in for the annual rewards, there's really not much going on here. Some minor changes, but all in all, a pretty quiet month. Excited about these mechs. Not that excited about those quirks, especially since there are no really cool ones, like for example, heat scale limit quirks that would really bring out a certain mech. So yeah, it's gonna be a new patch. Hopefully you guys will find something useful in there. And if this video was useful to you, let me know in the comments below. This has been TTB. Have a good one.